Okay, the father of Orlando shooter Omar Mateen is at least partially blaming the nightclub Pulse for that shooting. I have video here from MSNBC. This was a press conference that the father gave. This is the same father, by the way, who at one point said religion played no role in the shooting, who at another point said there was no reason for his son to go out and shoot gay people at a club because God was going to be ultimately the one responsible for punishing those people for their sins. And now here is the father of Omar Mateen, and some people finding this to be completely beyond the pale outrageous, saying that, wait a second, isn't this the club's fault that this took place? Take a look at the video here.
Yes, but unfortunately, I wasn't aware of that he went under what I learned from the media, under the effect of this horrible, terrible killer group of ISIS. I don't know who created the ISIS, but that's a bad news for humanity. First. Second, when anyone opens up a business, I'm not aware of the situation of this club. They should have enough security. When 300 or 400 people comes to the business, they should have a good security. The life of 400 people depends on that business. So it's easy for them to make money, but they don't want to spend. Maybe they had some kind of sloppy security. That's another suggestion. So I request from the nation that if anyone wants to open up a social club, they should have a tight security, 24-hour armed guard security. If they had a good security, tight security, they would have eliminated my son. That would have been good. We wouldn't have this nightmare and these losses for the families.
I truly thought this was a goof, like an Onion article or something, when I just saw the headlines. And a spokesperson for the Pulse nightclub was asked about this and told TMZ, we simply can't find the words to respond to such a callous comment from the father of the man who perpetrated this heinous act. I mean, on the one hand, this is absolutely ridiculous, right? I mean, should the Aurora movie theater in Colorado have had better security? Any place where people are watching movies should have armed guards everywhere. Total lack of sort of, well, hold on a second. What about maybe different parenting at some point or something else? But at the same time, I did think to myself, wait a second. The last time I went to a nightclub was in Las Vegas a month or two ago. Security was pretty extensive. I mean, there were 3 layers of security. There was no way I or anyone else was getting an AR-15 rifle in there, if you consider the size of that, never mind a handgun. So there was something about that there was a sort of ounce of logic to what he was saying, although big picture, it's like, wait a second. It seems like the club is very low on the list. And Rachel, you mentioned this to me also. In your experience, it would be very difficult to get an AR-15 into a club, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I feel like any experience I've had going out to clubs in Boston, I've definitely either maybe been patted down, usually by a female. I've had my bags checked, and everyone who I was with is also seemingly patted down. I am not, I mean, I agree with what you said. Big picture, it doesn't matter, but I was a little bit skeptical about how someone could get in an assault rifle into a club. But at the same time, I don't think that argument works that, okay, someone cheated on the SATs because there wasn't an extra a monitoring person going around and checking who was cheating.
Right, and it's the lack of people checking for cheaters that is mostly responsible. It doesn't make sense. Lewis, if you accidentally had a kid and things work out and you love the kid, right? I mean, it's a victory. We're all thrilled about that. If your kid guns down 50 people in cold blood, would you maybe just for the optics hold off on blaming those who were in a far worse position to stop the kid than maybe you were in having raised the kid for 20 years, 30 years?
I wouldn't have blamed the nightclub in this case.
Yeah.
There are plenty of clubs. You know, it depends on the city. I mean, if you are a place where there are frequently fights, where there might have been stabbings or shootings before, maybe even outside of the place in the parking lot. I mean, the business determines if they're at high risk for such things, and then based on that, they have security. And that probably was never an issue here at this place. So they didn't. Maybe that'll change now.